Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to you all from wherever you are in this world today, morning, afternoon, evening. Uh, it's with great pleasure that we move on today, investigating this theme of to be on the road without leaving home. And my gratitude to Sangha Life to make this possible, and George for uh, hosting and managing the sessions, which is really, really supportive. It's really a delight to really have this opportunity to practice and start the day with all of you. Every time I come to Sangha Life, I'm reminded of this. So for those of you who have seen it, for somebody it's the first time, so a warm welcome to you as well. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sophie Boyer. I'm calling from France, from the Jura Mountains, where the weather is a bit better than yesterday. Just as a reminder that all these sessions with Sangala are freely offered in the morning. And if you wish to support the platform, to support people with serving Sangha Life, to support the teacher, you will find on the top of the chat, George has left a link where you can donate. I think it's a very easy process. Just as a reminder, I am working as a Dharma teacher, and mostly in France, but also for Gaia House and some other places. And my interest is more surrounding the healthcare field, as I've been working in hospices for many years before. And more specifically working at the moment and offering some meditation sessions in an oncology ward at the moment, and also working as a mindfulness teacher in nursing home, helping people to go through the challenge of aging. So stop it here and just invite all of us, to dive into this moment and maybe get a taste of what it feels to be home. Just in a very simple way, over and over again, inviting awareness to land into this moment in the physicality of this body. That gives us so many opportunities to hear, to see, to feel, to think also. Reminding oneself this is how we experience life as a human being. Through sensing. You just this sense of sitting or lying down or standing or maybe walking. You're getting a sense of this body. You know, a body that is inhabiting this space between earth and the sky. Touching the ground with our feet. The head in contact with space all around. You're just taking the time to get a sense of how does it feel to be sitting here. Some of us the day is starting, for some of us it's the end, maybe. But in this very moment, it's a moment of pausing, stopping. And really realizing in this moment there is no need to go anywhere else. No need to do anything else but just sitting or lying down, or standing. And giving some time and some space for this heart and mind, for this body to arrive, to settle. This is not about wanting anything from this moment. This is really about allowing things to be, paying attention to what's here. Breath, sounds, The simplicity of just sitting, lying down, listening to life, experiencing life as a breath, as a sound arising and passing away. Just calming the mind. What is it that is revealed in this moment of presence? When the mind is attuned to receptivity, what does it reveal? These are more subtle physical sensations, maybe a kind of an emotional tone that is not seen before. Maybe the content of thinking that becomes a bit clearer. A mood, home as the realization there is nothing other than what's here. The hearing happening, the rising and falling of sounds, the inflating on an in-breath, deflating on the out-breath. Resting here, still. Posing, restoring. Being kind, gentle, right here, right now. There is no need to force anything, no need to try to solve anything, to achieve anything. Realizing despite maybe all concerns that are present in our lives, worries, fear, emotional affliction. In this very moment, noticing that it is safe, sitting, lying down, or standing with a roof upon our head, being warm in our clothes, in the warmth of a house, maybe. It's also fine in this moment. It's okay. And if it feels right this morning, today for you, if resources are here, and closer attention to these moments where the sense of being home is not present. It's more this sense of disconnection. Is it possible to meet the discomfort that comes along with this sense of disconnection? Can be very physical. It also can be very mental, with a lot of thoughts. Just noticing the unpleasantness of this. Just as a way to give more space for these things to be. Where is located this discomfort? Is this discomfort take the shape of a tension, of a contraction? Really bringing real interest to this sense of discomfort coming out of this feeling of being disconnected. What is it that creates this tension? What a tension is made of? Is there, and sometimes in a very subtle way, a kind of non-acceptance to what's here? Maybe just because it hasn't been seen or recognized. An unpleasant sensation in the body. The non-acceptance of a great amount of energy that manifests as agitation. Very, very basic, very simple things. But because not seen, not recognized, give rises to a kind of reaction to it. Because of not wanting to meet what's here. And if this does not apply to you today, just dwelling in stillness, noticing the passing away, rising and passing away of sound, breath, myriads of sensation in the body. And what's the effect of this soft investigation? Does it give more space? Does this sense of disconnection loosen? Is presence back here? Calm. It's just about unveiling what maybe lies under the surface. And at your own pace, just coming back to the simplicity of sitting, lying down, standing, with the multitude of sensations. While breathing is unfolding, while sounds coming and going. And this spacious presence, awareness that does not discriminate, where there is no reactivity, just space that contains it all. and at your own pace, as while opening the eyes, in contact with your direct environment, maybe in this need to move or to stretch. Being present. Yes, George, let's keep on. As I said yesterday, we still have a full 20 minutes. So as we may have noticed, being home can really be challenged with by so many life conditions, so many internal conditions as well. Very pragmatically, when facing, I don't know, difficulties like health issues, fear, concern, worries, sometimes more difficult things like loss or grief or loneliness and agitation. It's very clear how all these afflictions, tend to lead to this space of disconnection we have just maybe experienced sometime. Disconnection from ease, from spaciousness, from home. And we probably all know this already, that these states need to be acknowledged, to be recognized, to be embraced. But still, even if we've been a long time practitioner, how many times, even knowing that, we feel stuck again, we feel overwhelmed and can't allow ease and peace, in the midst of this. And one aspect that you may find useful or interesting to look at more closely in this situation of this connection is the dynamic of wanting, longing for something. The Buddha scriptures, well, Buddha text calling it desire. Or I would stay with the word wanting. And of course, one aspect when facing these difficulties, if we look closer, what might be seen and that we really tend to really do not recognize is that wanting take the simple shape of a thought. Just very simply, I'm not feeling well, I want to get better. I am encountering agitation while I'm sitting. I want to feel calm and peaceful. I consider myself not as a good practitioner, so I want to be a better practitioner. Or in many circumstances of life, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that, I don't want to be like this, I don't want to be like that, and so on, and so on, and so on. What I found very interesting is to get in touch, with that feeling of wanting. Does it feel comfortable? Does it really feel comfortable when there is this wanting happening? When I want this, when I want that. And probably what we're going to meet and realize is that when there is this energy, this pooling, it feels very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable and maybe in the body. It brings tension, as we may have experienced earlier. But what it shows actually is that it's uncomfortable because it wants something otherwise than what is. And this is precisely, this point of tension that is created between what is and what I want. And what is interesting, if we go even deeper in these, in that when these thoughts, of wanting are present, aren't they based on the belief that thing can be accomplished by thinking? I think we're trained like that all our life, to achieve things by reflecting, by thinking. But in terms of practice, there's really an opportunity here to question this. Is it really true? Is it really, really true that things can only be accomplished by thinking? Usually we don't really pay attention to that. So this is really one thing that may be very interesting when there is this sense of disconnection, is to learn to recognize when these thoughts of wanting, are really running the show. And on top of it, when you come to really see these thoughts, to really realize what they're all turning around. They're turning around me, and I. And what is interesting is that we point this out in our practice when this is recognized, to really check, there's some concern about achieving or, realizing something or longing. Does it has an effect? Does it start to loosen, and to go away? Another aspect maybe is to what, when these thoughts are present, this wanting of achieving something, what actually are they pointing out? For example, when there is this seeking for safety, where there is this seeking for peace, is there a sense of not feeling safe? Is there a sense of not feeling peaceful? And really be very careful that wanting, does not reinforce the sense of that there is something that is missing, or that something that needs to be repaired. When I seek for safety, is there a sense of not feeling safe? Does this need to be fixed? Does this means that safety should be here? And really, if when we recognize this, if it makes a difference. Actually, what this point out that is very difficult to recognize is the grasping dynamic toward thinking. But actually, when a thought is met just for what it is, a thought. I want to be peaceful. This is just a thought. And when this is recognized, poof, presence is back again. Home is back again. Peace is back again. Mm. That's all I wanted to say this morning, and we have a couple of minutes for comments. Questions, maybe sharing. Thank you, Huguette, for your comment. Alice, with the intention for humility in the present, a contraction arises with a feeling of being unworthy of beauty, coming to reduce the opening of my heart. Would you have some guidance when this arises? It happens to me quite often. What might be interesting is what is named as the intention for humility. I don't mean this is what's happening, but to check if behind this intention for humility, there is not a kind of wanting for things to be different than what they are in that moment, which might be creating this kind of tension, this kind of dichotomy, because of the non-acceptance of what's here. What's the need for placing an intention for humility? I would check if there is something around that. When feeling unworthy, there is, really checking if there is a kind of a non-acceptance of how things are in the moment. What are the thoughts that are coming? What gives rise to this kind of, because usually unworthiness comes as, again, as a thinking process. I am such and such. I am unworthy. And we need to look closer to that. What's happening there? You say it's usually when so much beauty are around me. Is there a sense of, what you say, Alice, a sense of disconnection from this beauty? Is there a sense of trying to get something out of this beauty? Is there kind of a wanting when there is contact with this beauty? How, and actually what might be also interesting here is to pay closer attention to the Vedana, to the feeling tone, out of this contact. If it's visual contact, if it's, I don't know through what sense it comes. Really to pay attention to what's the feeling tone in contact with beauty, and to stay with the feeling tone. Yeah, is it a possibility to stay with the feeling tone? Oh, there is something, out of maybe kind of something unpleasant or pleasant, a kind of a reactivity that can be very subtle. Maybe because it's pleasant, the wanting to be part of it, to not feel separated, that actually has the reverse effect. That creates a tension. because there is this kind of grasping. I don't know if it gives some things to look at here. We're so well trained, so well trained to, well, as you all know, first not being trained to recognize what is really happening under the surface, and to try to make our own what's happening. In, all this tend to manipulate, to keep this, to reject that. And really, on top of this is really recognizing that wanting is kind of, in a way, is normal. Desire, without, as I say many times, without desire in this world, flower would not bloom. We would not be here. So the question is not, is this the desire, the wanting that is the problem, or is the non-recognition of what is built upon wanting? Yeah, Britta, the comment, yeah, when there is much beauty in my life, I often feel overwhelmed. It is as if beauty is not allowed to be. Lisa, losing my dad to Alzheimer, I know I'm grasping on to the person he was, especially in difficult times. I feel very selfish to feel like this, how to deal with this. But this in the medical field, thank you for this question and your trust, Liza. This in the medical field, I don't know in English, but in French, if I literally translate, we call it white grief. It means that the process of grief is already happening as the person is still here. But because of the decay of memory and perception of the person, we cannot anymore interact with the person that we used to be. So this creates a loss, although the person is here. So really to recognize that it is completely normal to feel loss and to feel lost with that. And there is no need to bring any self-judgments, feeling, why feeling selfish? This is completely normal, and it's kind of, it's actually very interesting to see that we are already, in a process of losing that requires to digest, that requires, to make some space for all the emotional landscape that comes up with this sense of loss. Mm-hmm. To recognize that it's, to really bring space, to bring care and compassion there, and not self-judgment, saying I'm selfish. This is completely normal. This is loss happening. How can I nurture that? Because it on top, it requires energy, it requires effort, because it requires to adapt, to change the way I'm going to be interacting with the person. It's very difficult. really bring a great sense of care there, a care and really eyes wide open to really, if possible, be in touch with this grieving process. This will be helpful to be close to oneself, to be close to your dad, I would say. Really bring a lot of care for what is experienced within your heart. Well, sorry, I've lost track with time. I wish you, whether a nice evening, a wonderful day. Thank you for your presence and practice together. It's such a support. Thank you so much. I wish you all well and very much look forward to going further into this investigation of to be on the road without leaving home. Thank you all.